Happy World Rhino Day, everyone, and welcome to our Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants event. My name is Joe Grabowski, and I'll be your host for today. So today is World Rhino Day, and it's a day that we think about and we celebrate the 5 amazing species of rhinos that we do have around the world. Now, they are beautiful creatures, but they are in trouble with many populations like the Sumatran and Javan rhinos in Indonesia, which are down to about 80 individuals. When we move to Africa and talk about some of our rhino species, the black and the white rhinos, they're doing a little bit better, but are under threat from things like poaching and habitat loss. And then, of course, we're going to talk about the subspecies today, the northern white rhino, which there are only 2 left on the planet, Najin and Fatu. So we're going to get a chance to visit with some of the rangers who protect Najin and Fatu and do incredible work at Ol Pejeta Conservancy in Kenya. So if you're unfamiliar with Ol Pejeta, it has the largest black rhino sanctuary in East Africa. It's home to the 2 world's last remaining northern white rhinos. It has some of the highest predator densities in Kenya and still manages a very successful livestock program for the local community. So Ol Pejeta seeks to support the people living around its borders to ensure wildlife conservation translates to better education, healthcare, and infrastructure for the next generation of wildlife guardians. So we are connecting live from the field today. If you are tuning in live via YouTube, just to remind you that sometimes connectivity in the field, especially in a remote area, can be a bit tricky. So we might have some periods where we lose a little bit of the connection, but I think we're going to have a great one today. And I'm going to bring Ol Pejeta in live with us right now. Hey, Ol Pejeta, how are we doing today?
How are you, Joe? Happy World Rhino from Ol Pejeta. How are you doing?
We are so good. It is so great to be live with you guys in Kenya, and World Rhino Day. I can't think of a better day.
Yes, it's an honor hosting you guys virtually on Ol Pejeta. As you can see on your screen, we have caregivers of the last 2 northern white rhinos with Najin. So Najin is the eldest, but that is Najin. But we'll get into that. Welcome to Ol Pejeta again. My name is Dylan Habil. Ol Pejeta is home to 2 species of rhinos, black rhinos and white rhinos. And luckily for white rhinos, we have 2 subspecies. So we have southern white rhinos and northern white rhinos. So with us today are the white rhinos, but you can see 3 and not 2, as everyone knows that there are 2 remaining in the whole world. So we have a southern white rhino. So that one is a southern white rhino. In the middle is a northern white rhino. This is David. David, say hi. So David is one of the caregivers of the rhinos. And then there's Jacob. And then the eldest, Najin. So the northern white rhinos are not native to Kenya. They come from the northern parts of Africa. And these 2 ladies came from a zoo in Czech Republic. So they came to Ol Pejeta in 2009. They were 4, 2 males and 2 females. Unfortunately, we've lost all the males, but that doesn't mean that the hope for the species is gone. There are scientific efforts that are put in place trying to save the subspecies from extinction. So I will walk around with Jacob as Jacob introduces us to the female. So Jacob, hi, how are you?
Hi.
Yes, so Jacob, can you tell us what you do at Ol Pejeta?
So I'm one of the caretaker. Among the head guys.
Oh, the rhino also wants to say hi. Hi, Najin. She's not giving Jacob a chance to speak. Okay, Jacob.
So hi to everybody. My name is Jacob, and I'm one of the caretaker of the last 2 northern white rhinos.
So as a caretaker of the northern white rhinos, what comes with the job? Or what job do you do taking care of the northern white rhinos?
Of course, I have to prepare them for them. I have to look at their body conditions. Yes, I do everything, almost everything duty or what they require in everyday activities.
So you are taking care of the northern white rhinos,
Yes.
literally, because you said you make their beds.
Yeah, of
There's an
course.
interesting question that we've been asked before. Do rhinos brush their teeth?
No,
They
no,
don't.
they don't.
To how clean are the rhinos?
Rhinos are very clean. They're
Mm.
so much hygienic. They are special. They are not like elephants. Rhinos, they don't poop everywhere like what elephant beings do. They don't disperse their poops as what elephant do. They have what we call it communal latrine. Yeah, they go in a specific place to help themselves. Yeah, and also we call it rhino maiden. Yeah,
Maiden.
so they are specialized. They don't like spoiling their food. Yeah.
So where we're standing right now is where the northern white rhinos spend their day.
Yeah.
And you can't spot any poop around here. So they have a special place where they go. Oh, Najin still wants to say hi. Hi, Najin.
Come, I show you their latrine, their poops.
Oh, so Jacob is going to take us to one of their toilets. So as we walk. And the ladies that are lying over there?
Those are on the right, on the left side is Najin.
Yeah.
It's Najin,
Mm-hmm.
and the southern white.
So Najin on the left, the southern one.
Fatu.
Oh, Fatu.
Southern white.
Fatu and the southern white.
Left side.
Yeah.
Southern white. Tawa. We call them Tawa.
Tower.
Yes.
So why did you decide to put another subspecies with them?
So to these, the last two species,
Hmm.
you know, they used to live with human beings. They used to be kept by human beings, and they used to eat human supplements. They were eating human food. They were eating apples, bananas, carrots, and what have you. They were not feeding on grass naturally. So as you can see, the southern white side on there, she is the one who introduced them how to live in the wild, how to be in the wild, how to survive in the wild. She's the one who taught them, who introduced them on how to graze on grass naturally, how to wallow on mud when their skin are too dry, how to sharpen their horns when their horns are blunt. You know, rhinos' horns are like weapons. So they have to prepare them, to sharpen them, to defend themselves. So she's a teacher. She's like a mentor who welcomed them in the wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So as we are going to the poop, there is an important thing that Jacob has said. So Tao being a mentor to the last two northern white rhinos and teaching them basic rhino things like sharpening their horns. Rhino populations are going down because of poaching, right, Jacob? Yes. Oh.
Toilet. Look, they don't disperse their poops everywhere. Look, the heap of it. So when they feel like pooing, they have to come straight here. And somebody else, not even here, we have many in different places. But they don't have, if they, as you can see them, they are lying down there. So if they like like to poo, they come here because here is a bit near where they are sleeping or they are lying. So this is their toilet.
So this is their toilet.
Communal toilets.
Yeah.
Good.
So unlike other animals that poop everywhere, rhinos have toilets. So I was explaining why rhino populations are going down, and it's heavily because of poaching, and it's because of their horn. So you've said their horns can be used as weapons for themselves because they're quite territorial, right?
You know, every kind of animal has got their own weapon to protect themselves. So the rhinos owns a rhino without horns. It's not rhino. Yeah, a rhino should have horns to protect themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and if maybe they want something because some of them they can fight. They use their horns to fight with. Yeah, and that's why now we don't want what you call it poaching. put it as an illegal activity in the world. So that now we deal with them, with the poachers. They like rhinos horns because they are very simple. It takes simple time to take them out because the rhinos horns are just on the skin. So they can pick, they cut them easily. They are not like elephants' ivory. The ivory for the elephant, they can use even axes. But for the rhino's horns, they can take 5 to 10 minutes to remove it. That's why now we take care, very much care to rhinos.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know if you can go close to one of the rhinos and see the base of the horn and what.
Maybe we go to
the mom.
The mom.
Okay. So, yes, the biggest cause of rhino population decline in Africa is poaching. And as Jacob has said, rhino horn is not part of the skeletal system. It's made of the same material as our nails and hair, so it's called keratin, and it grows on top of the skin. So when a baby rhino is born, they don't have the horn, and we want to get so close to the mom and show you the base of the horn and how it looks like. What is a typical day with the rhinos from morning to evening?
Yeah, most of the rhinos sleep up half of the day, and they are so much tired during the day. They can take almost 6 hours sleeping lying down, and when they wake up, they can feed. Yeah. So now we can see one is feeding now. She has waken up, and now others will fall up. They wake up also. They continue feeding until 6 o'clock, and then I will come for them. They go to put them to direct them where they sleep. But they know they know the place where they sleep.
So they just go there by themselves?
Yes.
Yes. So if we go close to
Najin?
Yes, if we go to Najin, close to the base of her horn, so right here where Jacob is touching, it's compacted hair, and the hair. Sorry, we are back. So the horn is formed by compacted hair called keratin. So the same material that forms our fingernails and hair. So this is Najin. So Jacob, can you tell us the difference between, because we've said that there are 2 species of rhinos in Africa, white and black.
The different south and white, as well as black and white rhino.
You can just do a typical black and white.
Northern white and southern white. You see the tail for Najin is a bit longer, but the southern is shorter. Look the skin. When look her skin, it has some wrinkles or some circles. That means the northern white rhinos skins are rougher. They are rough. But the southern, they are a bit smoother. Look them back. The shark, all flat, or pumpy, flat in the back. But the south, look at ears, how nice. Look at ears. They have long hair on the ears. Long hair on the ears. Their ears are flumpy, but the southern, none. No long hair on the ears, so that's to the southern white. And again, if you see the distance of the horns or the gap of the horns of the northern white horns, they are a bit separate.
Mm.
But the southern white horns are closer,
Mm.
much close. They look like V. Contrary to no. The size also. The northern are short. You have short legs. Come on. You have short legs and smaller than southern white rhino. The southern is tall and a bit huge.
Yes.
Yes.
But these are differences that you have to get so close to the rhinos to see. Because, for instance, if you're talking about the hair on the ears, these are things that you have to be so close to them.
Yes.
But what are the, especially for the two distinct species, the
Yes.
black and the white, from a distance, how can you tell that this is a white rhino and not a black rhino?
The white rhino have got wide mouth, wider. Their mouth is square. They have square mouth or wide mouth.
Yes.
But for the black is pointed mouth or triangular.
Mm-hmm.
The size also, the size for the white rhinos are a bit bigger. They are bigger, 3 times and above. But for the black is 1.5, almost half of white rhinos.
Mm.
Another one, what they eat. Black rhinos are browsers, they feed on leaves. But for the white, they are grazers, they feed on grass.
Grass.
Yes. Another one is about their behavior. Black rhinos are very aggressive, and white rhinos are less aggressive. Another one is about how they live their life. They live. White rhinos are social, but black rhinos are solitary. They like staying alone. Yes.
I like how you've said black rhinos are aggressive and white rhinos are less aggressive.
Yes.
So all rhinos are aggressive?
No, but black rhinos are much aggressive. They have high tempers than white rhinos.
Oops, we are now having rain over here, which is a good thing because last year we experienced intense drought. So we are happy with the rain. I don't know if Joe and the students are good with us plus the rain.
Yeah, we can still hear you loud and clear, Dylan. Oh, looks like things might have froze on us for a moment. Let's see if they'll unfreeze for us. When they do, we should probably start our Q&A action. You can see some of those clouds overhead, some clear sky in the background. So hopefully... Hey, Dylan, can you hear us?
Hi, Joe.
All right, excellent. Are you... I can see a little bit of rain. Are you still able to continue?
It is raining quite heavily. So we are just two of us, myself and David. Everyone else has run off to look for shade. And the other two rhinos have gotten up. So,
I can see them coming over.
Yeah.
Very cool. When was the last rain?
The last rain season was the first quarter of this year. So around March and April. And then we had a dry spell and things became quite dry because when you see around, you can even see the color of the grass. It's not as green. So this is another rain season that's starting and we're quite happy because for the white rhinos, they feed on grass. So this is basically the water for their food.
Yeah. So Dylan, before we take some questions from the students, you mentioned that, Najin and Fatu are the last two northern white rhinos. They're both female, but there's still some hope. Can you tell us about the project that Ol Pejeta is working on with scientists?
Hi. So yes, Najin and Fatu, we had 2 males with them. So before the males passed, we harvested sperm from them, and then they were stored in a lab in Czech Republic. So right now, what we're doing is also harvesting ova from the females, which will be fertilized in a lab, and potentially they will be implanted into southern white rhinos to be surrogates for the northern white rhinos, because Najin, she can't hold a pregnancy to term, so her back legs are quite bent, which is caused from her being in a zoo where they used to sleep in concrete. These rhinos are not used to sleeping in concrete, so it really affected her back legs. And then for her daughter Fatu, uterine problem, so yes, she can't also carry a baby. So we will use southern white rhinos as their surrogates, and so far we have 29 embryos in store ready for implantation.
Okay, so an example of some innovative conservation work, that has a chance of saving this amazing subspecies. So exciting times as you guys work towards, implanting those first embryos into southern white rhinos.
Oh. Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Oh, I was just saying that, conservation is complicated, and this is a great example of using technology to try and save a subspecies, to save the northern white rhinos.
Yes. This is something that's happening for the first time in rhinos. So yeah, conservation technology is actually a big help in conservation.
Absolutely. Well, what do you think, Dylan? Are you ready for some questions?
Yes, we are ready for questions.
Okay, we have lots of classrooms, so we'll work through some of those questions. And again, thank you for being out there in the rain for us.
No problem.
Okay, we're going to go to Milton, Ontario. Some fourth graders hanging out with us at Viola Desmond Public School. I'm going to bring them in front and center here. Hey, fourth graders, how are you?
Is it possible for northern and southern rhinos to have a baby?
Oh, okay. So their question, Dylan, is it possible for a northern and white rhino to mate? Would that be possible?
A northern and
a northern and a southern white rhino. Would it be possible?
Yes, it is possible, and there are cases that have been reported out in the wild where we have hybrids of southern and northern white rhinos. But what we want to create over here is a pure northern white rhino baby going forward, and no hybrids.
All right, good question, guys. Yeah, we want a pure northern white rhino, which is why we're using the technology to be able to do that. And then Najin and Fatu, they're just a little bit too old to be able to have a pregnancy. Cool.
Okay.
Right.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. We're going to jump to another classroom now. This time we have some more fourth graders. They're joining us from Maine with Miss McGinnis. Let me bring them in front and center. There they are. Hey, fourth graders. Lots of fourth graders. 40 fourth graders.
I want to know, where do they go start the storm?
Okay. So, Dylan, she's wondering, where would the rhinos go on a day like today where there's a storm? Do they go anywhere for protection?
Behind us, Najin is following us from behind. So we are yes, we are going to look for a shade. And so I can see some guys are covering themselves up. So rhinos might go under a tree, but they usually like it when it's raining because they wallow in mud. It's a favorite activity. So yeah, they let the rain on them or play in the mud.
Okay, so they don't mind a little bit of rain. They like when that rain comes.
Yes, they do not mind.
All right, great question. We're going to jump to another classroom here. We'll come back your way while our Ol Pejeta crew makes their way towards some protection from the rain as well. So let's go now to, we have Jenkintown Middle School, a 12th grade environmental class with us. Let me bring them in here. Hey, 12th graders, how we doing?
Hello. Go ahead, Teddy, go for it. Share the question.
What are all the different kinds of species living in Ol Pejeta, like of rhino? Because you said there were multiple subspecies of white rhino. Are there multiple kinds of black rhinos too?
So Dylan, if you heard that question, they're wondering there's a northern and white or northern and southern white rhino subspecies. Does the black rhino have a northern and southern subspecies?
So yes, they do have species, and for black rhinos, they are found at the central, like along the, because we have the equator line path across Africa. So for black rhinos is east and western black rhinos. So unfortunately, we have lost all western black rhinos. So the western black rhino is extinct. They are found on the western side of Africa. We are on the east side of Africa. So the rhinos that we have over here are the eastern black rhinos, and Ol Pejeta we are the biggest eastern black rhino sanctuary in eastern Central Africa. So we hold the biggest.
Okay, so we're paused for a moment here. It probably has to do a little bit with the rain. Oh, there we go. The camera's refreshing. All right. And then as Dylan mentioned, Ol Pejeta has the largest black rhino sanctuary in East Africa, which is amazing. And then for those who are curious, there's 3 other species of rhino. There's the greater one-horn rhino, and they're found in India. And we'll be connecting with the Toronto Zoo at 1 o'clock Eastern today, and we're going to see their greater one-horn rhinos. And then there's the Sumatran rhino and the Javan rhino found in Indonesia. And at 10 o'clock today, we'll be talking to the International Rhino Foundation, and they'll be talking about the efforts to protect and conserve the Sumatran and Javan white rhino. And both of those species, there's only about 80 of them left in the wild. Some in the wild, some in captivity. Okay, let's grab another classroom here. Miss Collins and Miss Darling's 5th graders are with us. How are we doing today?
Good.
We're good.
Awesome.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Go ahead.
How can you tell the difference between like a boy and a girl?
Ask if it's easy.
Is it like easy?
All right, Dylan, were you able to hear that question? They're wondering if it's easy to tell the difference between a male and female rhino.
Okay. Good job.
Depends. If you stay in the wild
Guys.
for a while, you will actually be able to differentiate between male and females. For me, it's easier with white rhinos. For black rhinos, I'm still not that advanced, but yeah, can't tell by just looking at them which one is male and which one is female. But you might need some ranger expertise for that.
Okay.
And is there a size difference, Dylan? Do the males get larger?
Stop waiting.
For some, for white rhinos, are the males larger than the female?
Yes.
So for white rhinos,
Yes, the males are bigger than female.
and what of the black rhinos? Cause
The same case. Yes.
so it's a matter of size.
Okay, great question. Okay, where do we need to go next? Mr. Hancock's crew, they are in Ontario. Let me bring them in front and center. Hey, Mr. Hancock, how are you?
Hey, good morning, Joe. We had a question. You talked about the aggression of some of the species. Some of our students were wondering, have you ever experienced that aggression? Are there any signs before they start charging that you know the rhinos aren't too pleased with what's happening?
All right, Dylan, have you or any of the rangers ever experienced aggression from the rhinos? And do they give signs before they get aggressive?
So signs from the northern white rhinos or just any rhino?
Yeah, maybe signs, kind of signs in general if a rhino is unhappy or maybe feeling aggressive.
That has happened even for me, because my job here, I work as the in-house filmmaker for Pejeta. So sometimes when you go out and you can have rhinos coming to chat or that has happened even for the rangers. So there are usually signs that you can tell that this rhino is irritated. But for black rhinos, because they live in dense bushes, of you.
So they are on the move, and that tends to make the signal a little harder to pin down. So
I can repeat.
yeah, can you, Dylan? What were some of the signs that a rhino might be getting aggressive?
So some of the other people use, so there are sounds that rhino make when they're angry and that they're coming for you. So it sounds something. So if you're in the bush and you hear something like that, just know that there is a rhino coming, most likely from behind. Yes. Oh, Jacob is saying it's a snorting sound. So most of the guys use sound, or you can look at tail behavior. I've noticed with the white rhinos, they tend to coil their tails upwards, so almost like a pig. So if you see a white rhino doing that in the wild, that rhino is distressed and most likely might charge.
Okay, so some of those signs, some of the noise coming from behind, and then the white rhinos curling their tails up like a pig. All right.
We were also curious, Joe, if we could sneak another one in.
Sure.
How can you tell the age of a rhino?
How the age of a rhino? One, Jacob, tell me if I'm correct. How can you tell the age of a rhino? Can you use the horn's length?
No.
You can't use the horn's length.
No.
What can you use?
It depends on the time you are born. We record the time I was born. Yes.
For Pejeta, because we monitor our rhinos on a daily basis, we can tell when a certain breed is born, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So when we see the rhino out in the field, we'll know this rhino was born 5 years ago. The rhino is 5 years. This was born 10 years ago. But on other conservancies, do you think tell the age of the rhino with the length of the horn or by the body size?
All rhinos are done. It depends on the record. On when you are born. If you are born,
so this means conservation has actually picked up to a point where you even know the rhino's birthday. Amazing. Hope that has answered the question.
Yeah, sorry, Dylan, you're breaking up just a little bit.
Yes.
I think you mentioned that you know how to keep track of the age of your rhinos. You know when they were born, so it's easy to tell who's 5 years, who's 10 years old.
Yeah.
That the horn isn't a good indicator either, because it does kind of grow throughout their lives and it can regrow. So if something happens to the horn, it is possible that it can regrow.
Yeah.
And then you were mentioning that kind of last little piece about how conservation has come further.
Yes. If what Jack in terms of us being able to know the rhino's birthday, then it means conservation has really picked up quite well to a point we can head out to the field and walk with rhinos,
right,
and even celebrate their birthdays. So it's a good thing.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to grab a quick question here from YouTube. Some grade 2s would like to know, or sorry, these are some students in New Jersey, want to know how much can the rhinos weigh?
How much? So the rhinos, not all species weigh the same weight, right?
Yeah.
So how heavy are the white rhinos?
White rhinos weigh 3 tons and above.
So
3 tons and above.
white rhinos 3 tons and above.
The black rhino 1.5 and above.
One-
So that means white rhinos are heavier than black rhinos.
So white rhinos are twice as
Double,
heavy, twice as heavy as black rhinos, and black rhinos typically start from 1.5 tons and up, and white rhinos is 3 tons going up. Okay.
All right. Very cool.
White rhinos are the second mammal than second to
Elephants. Oh, so Jacob, I don't know if you got it, Joe. In Africa, the second largest land mammal, is a white rhino, after the elephant.
Okay. And about what would you estimate an elephant weighs, just to compare?
An elephant's weight, Jacob?
6 to 7 tons.
6 to 7 tons.
Yes.
So
Okay.
elephants are double
Double a white rhino.
white rhino. Yeah.
Very cool. Miss Cornfield's class is joining us. There's some 6th graders. I'm going to bring them into the call here so we can get a question. Hey, Miss C, how we doing? Oh, there we go.
Hi there.
Hey, everyone.
All right. We have a question about the rhinos there. You mentioned poaching was a problem. Like, how serious is it for not only rhinos, but other animals in Kenya?
Okay, Dylan. So she was Miss C's class is wondering how serious of an issue is poaching in Kenya for rhinos and other animals.
So the history of poaching in Kenya is more than 100 years right now, and it came to its peak around the 70s and 80s, where we lost quite a huge number of elephants and rhinos in particular. So right now there's still poaching that's happening in different spots around the continent. But for Ol Pejeta, we have had 6 years of zero poaching. So no elephant or rhino has been killed over here for its horns or ivory. But it is quite a problem that so many African countries are now getting into the conservation space and understanding the importance of having these animals roam among human beings.
All right. Well, that's an amazing track record, Dylan, to have 6 years poaching free.
Yeah.
So you guys are doing some incredible work. And it speaks for itself. You've got that beautiful herd of black rhinos, and you guys have given an incredible space for Najin and Fatu to live out their lives as well. Another question here from YouTube is, can Miss James' class, Talia in particular, would like to know a little bit about the rhinos. What do they eat and how much can they eat?
So white rhinos and black rhinos feed on different things. So white rhinos are grazers, so it means they feed heavily on grass, and black rhinos are browsers, so they feed on bushes and shrubs. And Jacob, this is a question that I want to pose to you. How much do you think white rhinos eat in terms of kilograms in a day?
So probably they normally eat 20 to 25 kilos in a day.
So one rhino can eat 20 to 25 of hay, of just grass. That is a lot.
Yeah.
I bet some people in the class right now, that's like half their body weight. Yeah.
I think for some of the students, like our grade 2s, that might be more than they weigh. That's a lot. That's over 50 pounds of hay and grass. That's a lot that they eat during the day. Very cool. Well, let's squeeze in a few more questions from some of our camera classes. So, Maine, Guinness's crew, do you have another question for us? Hey, first graders.
Hi, I'm Lydian. How fast can rhinos run?
Okay. The speediest or the fastest rhino can run 56 kilometers per hour.
56 kilometers per hour. How fast do you think a human being can run? Can a human being even reach 40?
No.
40, so you can't outrun a rhino.
No.
56 kilometers per hour, that's the speed of a rhino running.
All right. Miss Collins and Miss Darling's fifth graders, do you have another question for us?
Do you remember what you were
How old are they?
How old are the rhinos that
The
we've
last
just
two
met?
northern white rhino,
Yes.
the mom or the mother, Najin is 34, 34, then total Fatu 23.
So the daughter is 23 years, the mom is 34.
Yes.
All right. Great question, bud. Viola Desmond, let's bring you back in.
How are northern white rhinos endangered?
How are northern white rhinos endangered?
Yeah, we talked about poaching. Are there other issues that rhinos are facing? I think that would be a good way to tackle that.
We're also facing habitat loss, especially because of drought, the whole issue of climate change. So, for instance, before it started raining, I mentioned that last year we experienced immense drought to a point we were now supplementing the rhinos with hay. So yes, habitat loss and food is also a threat to them. We also have increase in human population. So as more human beings are being born and they're looking for spaces to stay in, it means wild animals are also losing space to stay in. So they're being pressed to smaller areas. And in particular, rhinos are quite territorial, so they can fight. They do fight when other rhinos come into their territory. So we lose quite a number of rhinos because of territorial fights.
All right. Thanks for the question. Who do we have to visit again? Let's see our high schoolers, our enviro class. Do we have one more question?
No.
No pressure. That's okay. If you
Our
think
questions already got answered.
perfect. If you think of something, pop it in the chat for me. Mr. Hancock's crew, do you have one more for us?
Yeah, a couple students were wondering about the maximum age range, the lifespan of a rhino, and has that changed over time? Have they gotten longer, shorter?
Okay, so we know how old Najin and Fatu are, but how old could the rhinos potentially reach, and does it change? Has that changed over time? Oh, Mr. Hancock, something about your questions is freezing up the call.
I think it's 40 to 50 years, but
contrary to black rhinos. Black rhinos is 30 to 40 years, when they are in captivity 50 years.
Okay.
So that means white rhinos live longer than black rhinos.
Okay.
Okay, Dylan, if I heard that correctly, the white rhinos live longer than black rhinos? Dylan, if you can hear me, was that the white rhinos live longer than the black rhinos? I think we might have lost our audio connection. So Dylan, I don't know if you can still hear me, but I think we lost our audio connection. Do you want to try and exit and come back in with the link if you can hear me? We've been really lucky so far, boys and girls. We actually had a really good connection from the field. There were a couple times where we had some pauses and the sound didn't cooperate with us, but we've been really, really lucky with a good, clear connection today. We've had connections in the past where it's definitely not been this nice and clear for us. But I think we've lost the sound from our crew in Ol Pejeta. So we're going to see if we can get it back. But we are at the stage 2 where we'll be wrapping up very shortly as well. So possibly our luck in the field may have run out. But I think I heard Jacob sharing with us that the white rhinos live longer. And then he highlighted the black rhinos about 40 years in the wild, but can live up to 50 years when they are in captivity. But I think we might be out of luck. I think we might have lost our sound. We might not be able to reconnect. I'm going to send them a quick WhatsApp message and see if they can try and restart for us. Let me. It would be nice to say a proper goodbye and a big thank you for them joining us today. Dylan, can you hear us? Jacob, can you hear us? Okay, we've lost your sound, but that's okay. If you can hear us, Dylan, do you want to try and exit and then come back in with the same link and see if we get the sound back? We'd like to be able to say a nice goodbye and thank you to you before. Oh, there they go. Perfect. So they can hear me. We're going to be able to get that nice goodbye and thank you in. It was, I mean, there's no better way to start World Rhino Day than to be able to connect live in Kenya and to see some beautiful rhinos. We saw the 2 northern white rhinos, and we saw they have the 1 southern white rhino, which is kind of like their buddy. And she taught them how to live in the wild because those 2 northern white rhinos originally came from zoos in the Czech Republic. And so their southern white rhino friend has helped teach them how to live in the wild and be more like wild rhinos. And here we go. Let's see if we have some sound back. Hey, guys, can you hear me?
Hi. Yes, we can hear you.
Good, good. We have your sound back. So, Dylan, just to confirm, did Jacob tell us that the white rhinos live longer than the black rhinos?
We've lost.
Uh-oh, did you lose me now?
Sorry, we lost you when you said we are back.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah.
And the question we just wanted to clarify was, did we hear right that the white rhinos live longer than black rhinos?
Yes, you did hear right.
Perfect. And I think it was 40 years for the black rhinos and 50 when they're in captivity?
Yes.
Perfect. And then how long could a white rhino live?
40 to 45 when they are in the wild.
Yep.
System in captivity.
All right. Excellent. And I think, the best question to wrap up on for today would be, we have students joining us from across North America and Canada and the United States. Can you think of any ways that maybe they could help out from where they live, things they could do to help, help the conservation work that you're doing?
The first thing that we'll ask all the kids that are watching is to spread the word of the existence of the northern white rhinos and rhinos in Africa and the work that places like Ol Pejeta is doing. So the first thing is spread the message, inform other people of rhinos in different places and not just Africa alone. You can, if you want now to get involved with things that even us Ol Pejeta are doing, you can organize things like bake sales in schools, bake cookies and sell, and then maybe the proceeds that you get, you can donate to keep Jacob and everyone's efforts in this place to run, because it is costly to take care of the rhinos and to pay people's salaries, uniforms, and sometimes even food that the rangers and the rhinos are getting. You can start environment and wildlife groups in your school, plant trees, clean school cleanings and clean the cities that you're in. Don't litter plastic out unless you're putting them in allocated proper disposal bins. So yeah, starts with you switching off bulbs that you're not using to conserve the energy. So there are so many things you can do to help the planet. Small things like when you're brushing your teeth and you're not using the tap, don't let the tap water run. Close it. So yeah.
All right, those are some awesome suggestions, Dylan. And I think, you know, we've had many classrooms in the past who have done things like bake sales. They have done popcorn sales. They have collected cans and bottles and recycled them to collect refunds. So there's lots of things that the classrooms can do to help, you know, raise some funding to send to organizations like Ol Pejeta to keep the amazing conservation work they are doing. And if any classrooms have questions, you can reach out to me after today's event, and I can share with you what some classrooms have done in the past. I want to start off by saying to everybody at Ol Pejeta who helped us out today, thank you so much for today's event. Thank you for braving the rain for us. I know that was probably uncomfortable when it really came down hard. Jacob and David, thank you for the incredible work you do as rangers at Ol Pejeta. And Dylan, thank you so much for being a great MC for us behind the scenes.
Thank you for hosting us on World Rhino Day. So I hope the kids will spread the message of what's happening in different spots around the world with rhinos.
All right. The last thing I'll do, we still have some classrooms with us. A few had to leave, but let me bring in the classrooms who are still backstage. If you want to give a nice big goodbye and thank you before we sign off today, Dylan, let Jacob, let David know how much you enjoyed the event today. Thank you so much for being with us. Thanks, everyone. Happy World Rhino Day. We're going to sign off for today. It was so great to have you with us.
Thank you.